Hey there. Tonight, we begin with something warm, something heavy, and something that, honestly, might make you grateful you weren't born a newborn gorilla. Because while most babies arrive in soft blankets, surrounded by walls and warm lights, gorilla infants come into the world clinging to damp fur, in air thick with mist, in a forest so dense the sun barely touches the ground. Your crib is your mother's chest. Your first blanket is her heartbeat, and your only safety is the grip of her hand. You've seen gorillas in films and photos towering, powerful, moving like kings of the jungle. But the truth? Being born a gorilla kinda sucks. It's slow, it's damp, it's a life where every step is felt in your bones, where food is something you search for every day, and the forest is both home and endless maze. And for much of your life, the only faces you'll see belong to the few who share your troop and the silent green walls that keep you hidden from the world. But don't worry, you're not here to wander. You're here to rest. So, before we start, take a moment to like the video, but only if you genuinely enjoy these quiet journeys. And let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's drifting off all over the world. Now, dim the lights. Maybe let the room settle into that soft, heavy warmth of a summer night. Let your breath match the slow rhythm of the forest. And let's ease into tonight's deep, green journey together. Chapter 1. Birth First Warmth. The first thing you feel is weight. Not the weight of your own body, you barely know you have one, but the weight of something bigger, stronger, older, holding you in place against the slow, steady drum of its heartbeat. That sound is the first map you will ever know. It tells you where safety is. It tells you when to sleep. It tells you when the world is moving. You are pressed into warmth so deep it feels like it's wrapping around you from the inside. Your skin is still soft, your fur barely there, and the air that touches you is heavy, wet, almost alive. It smells of leaves, earth, and something you can't name yet, but will come to know as your mother. You don't see the forest. You don't see anything at all. Your eyes are not ready for that yet. But you feel it. Every shift in the air carries a story. A low rumble in her chest tells you she's calm. The deep thud of something falling far away a branch maybe tells you the forest is awake, and the slow sway of her body as she moves tells you that you are already part of it. Your entire world is the rhythm of her breathing, in and out, slow and endless. It's the first lesson of gorilla life. Nothing happens fast unless it has to. Her hands, massive compared to you, adjust you without effort. Her fingers curl like living branches, and when she grips you, you know that nothing in this forest can take you. You belong to her, and she belongs to this place. The air shifts again. Dampness settles into your skin. You feel the drip of water from a leaf above, rolling down your back in a cold line before disappearing into her fur. She doesn't flinch. You learn from that too in the forest. You let the world touch you without fear. There's movement around you. Low, quiet sounds, a grunt, a sigh, the rustle of leaves under heavy steps. Others are near. You can't see them, but you know they're family. Their voices are low, their presence calm. You are part of a circle now, a troop. And even though you're only minutes old, the shape of that circle will guide your life. You don't yet know hunger, or danger, or the weight of finding food. You only know that the forest smells endless. Your mother's chest feels like home, and her warmth will be the first and last thing you search for in this life. For now, you rest. Chapter 2. First sunlight through the leaves. The first time light touches your eyes, it feels like the forest is speaking to you. It isn't the harsh white glare you'd find in open land. It's softer, older, filtered through layers of green. Each leaf bends the light, turning it into something warm enough to rest in, cool enough to breathe beneath. It doesn't just appear, it arrives, slowly, as if the forest has decided you're ready for it. You're still clinging to your mother's chest, your tiny hands buried in the thick, coarse fur that smells of sun, soil, and something faintly sweet, the trace of crushed wild celery she ate hours before. The fur moves under your fingers with every slow step she takes, your grip tightening not out of fear, but instinct. You don't know where she's going, but you know she's never wrong. The air feels different here. It's cooler, moving more freely, carrying the sounds of things you haven't yet seen, the whistle of a bird far above, the faint crackle of dry leaves where something small moves, and deeper still, the echo of a distant chest beat from a silverback. It's not for you, it's for anyone else in this forest who might think about getting too close. Your mother stops. Her weight shifts slightly as she lowers herself into a patch of light. It pools on her back, spilling over her shoulders, warming you from behind. You don't know the word for sunlight, but you understand its meaning. You feel it in your bones. This is the forest's quiet gift to those who live within it. Your head turns slowly. The shapes are still unfamiliar, more shadow than form, but the light paints edges for you. You see a single leaf swaying above, a small tear in its surface, letting a thread of sun slip through. You see the faint glisten of dew on a vine, the way it trembles when a breeze touches it. And then, you notice something that will become a rhythm in your life, the constant, patient feeding. Your mother reaches for a cluster of leaves, pulls them gently, and begins to chew. You feel the movement in her chest as she eats, the vibration of her slow grinding filling the space between heartbeats. Every day will be like this. Hours of searching, plucking, chewing, and moving again. For a gorilla, eating isn't a meal, it's the day itself. As you watch her chew, another sound enters the air, the quiet hum of other females nearby. Their voices are low, almost like murmured reassurance, passing between them as naturally as breath. This is how the troop moves, not in straight lines, but in a living weave, each member keeping the others within reach of sound, scent, and touch. You feel no rush to move. The forest has no urgency today. Sunlight shifts slowly with the canopy's sway, touching your face for the first time. It's warmer than you expected. You blink, once, twice, as if trying to understand what it's for. You don't know it yet, but this sunlight is rare here. Most of your life will be spent in shade, under the heavy green ceiling of the forest. The light you feel now will be a memory you chase without knowing a moment when the world above noticed you and decided to shine. Your mother adjusts her hold, one massive hand pressing gently against your back. It's both a reminder and a promise you are hers, and the forest is yours. For now, you let your eyes close again. The light will be there when you wake. Chapter 3. First Sounds of the Forest. The forest never sleeps, but it never shouts either. Its voice is constant, patient, layered so deeply that it takes time before you even realize it's there. To you, sound doesn't just arrive through the air. It arrives through the body, through fur, through the warmth of the one holding you. The first sound you recognize isn't the call of a bird or the snap of a branch. It's the low, steady thrum of your mother's breath. Slow inhale, slow exhale. The air moves past her throat in a rhythm so steady it feels like part of the earth itself. Every so often, there's a faint rumble deep in her chest, a soft, rolling sound. You don't know the word for comfort, but this is what it sounds like. Gorillas have their own language, though it's not made of words the way humans know them. There are grunts, sighs, belches, low hums, and chest beats, each carrying meaning. A soft grunt might mean, "I'm here." A longer one might mean, "Keep close." A deep, rumbling belch, that's peace. Safety, a sign that everyone can relax. Some of these sounds you hear now, not from her, but from others nearby. The troop is spread out, each member busy with the slow work of the morning, feeding, grooming, shifting from patch to patch. You can't see them through the wall of green, but you hear them, a sharp crack of a stem breaking in someone's hand. the faint tearing sound of leaves being pulled, the rustle of bodies moving through thick undergrowth. Then, something different, a sound you don't yet understand, the heavy, deliberate thud of fists against a chest. It's not loud like a drum in an empty room. It's muted, deep, rolling through the air and into the ground. That's the silverback. You won't know his full role for years, but you feel the meaning already. He is the one the forest listens to. That sound is a boundary, a warning, a statement of size and presence that no predator can ignore. The forest answers in its own way. High above, a bird calls 3 short notes, repeated like a question that never gets answered. From far away, the low hoot of another primate, not one of your kind, drifts through the air, changing slightly as it echoes off the slopes. The insects never stop, a constant undercurrent, a thin hiss of tiny wings and legs moving through leaf litter. Your ears begin to sort the layers without trying. This is how gorillas survive, not by spotting danger in the distance, but by hearing its shadow in the silence before it arrives. If a branch snaps and no voice follows, it's worth paying attention. If the forest goes quiet, you hold still. For now, nothing threatens. The sounds remain steady. Your mother shifts position, settling lower onto a bed of leaves. You hear them crunch softly under her weight. Her hand moves along your back, fingers spreading, palm warm and rough. She makes that low belch again, the one that means everything is fine. And just like that, the forest's voice becomes your lullaby. The morning hum continues, a living weave of calls, rumbles, and soft movements that have been repeating for centuries. You may not understand them yet, but you will, because in the forest, you learn by listening. Chapter 4. First movement on your own. The world feels different when you're not holding on. For as long as you've known life, your mother has been the ground beneath you. Her chest was your horizon, her shoulders your view, her heartbeat, the steady drum your days move to. But now, for the first time, your small fingers uncurl, your grip loosens, the warmth you've always known begins to slip away. It happens slowly, almost without decision. Her body lowers into a patch of soft earth, knees bending, one massive hand bracing the ground. The forest air shifts. You feel it slide under you, between you and her, carrying the scent of soil still damp from last night's rain. Your feet touch the earth. It's not what you expected. It gives a little under your weight, not hard like bone, not soft like fur. You press your toes down and feel them sink slightly into the mulch of fallen leaves and rotting wood. Something dry crumbles beneath you, releasing a scent that's sharp and earthy. Your fingers follow, curling into the ground for balance, your knuckles pressing into the soil. You are on all fours now like her. Gorilla infants move like this from the very start, even before their muscles are ready to support their weight for long. For the first 5 months, you've clung to her belly or back, watching the forest pass beneath you. But instinct has been waiting. The moment your body feels ready, the moment your arms and legs can bear you for more than a few breaths, you start to test the space between dependence and freedom. Your first step isn't really a step. It's a sway forward, your weight shifting from hands to feet and back again. The forest floor is uneven, covered in the roots of plants that were here before you were even conceived. Every move is a conversation with balance. Your head tilts down. A small beetle crosses the dirt ahead, its shell shining faintly in the slanted light. You watch it move, slow but certain, navigating tiny ridges and shadows. The sound of your own breath grows louder in your ears. Then, without warning, you lean too far forward. Your arms catch you, but your face comes close enough to the ground that you smell the faint sweetness of crushed fruit somewhere beneath the leaves. Your body rocks back instinctively. You're learning. Gorilla infants don't walk upright. Not now, not ever. Your world will always be built for knuckle walking, for moving low and close to the ground, where every step feels connected to the earth. In time, This movement will become so natural, you'll forget there was a day you didn't know how to do it. Your mother watches, but she doesn't pull you back. This is part of the rhythm, letting you drift just far enough to learn, but never far enough to be lost. A low grunt escapes her chest, soft and brief. It's not a warning, it's acknowledgement. You take another step, then another. The weight in your arms feels different now, heavier, but alive. The muscles in your shoulders shift and burn faintly with the effort. You pause, listening to the forest again, feeling its presence wrap around you like a slow-moving tide. From somewhere behind, another infant makes a short, squeaking noise. You glance back. He's watching you from the safety of his mother's back, eyes wide, as if your few steps are an act of bravery. In a way, they are. Because the first time you move on your own, you aren't just testing your body, you're testing the truth of the forest that it will hold you up, even when you let go. Your mother reaches for a cluster of vines above her head, tearing them free with a single pull. She doesn't stop eating. She doesn't call you back. She trusts you'll find your way. And in the space between her shadow and your next step, something shifts inside you. The ground is no longer strange. It is yours. Chapter 5. First Play. Play finds you before you even know you're looking for it. It starts as a shadow moving at the edge of your vision, low to the ground, fast and silent. Your eyes turn just in time to see another small body emerge from behind a patch of broad leaves. He's about your size, maybe a little older, with dark, glossy fur and eyes that seem to smile even before his mouth does. There's no sound, no words, no call. Just a brief tilt of his head and the flick of his hand across the ground. An invitation. Before you can think, you're moving toward him, your knuckles pressing into the earth, your weight rocking with each small bound. The air between you carries the scent of crushed greenery and faint, sweet fruit, the smells of morning forage. Then it happens. He lunges forward, both hands brushing your shoulder, before he pulls back and runs in a circle around you. It's not an attack. It's not even a chase. It's the first language you've learned that isn't about safety or hunger. It's about joy. You respond without knowing how. Your arms push forward harder, your legs tucking and kicking out as you pivot to follow him. The forest blurs at the edges, patches of light and shadow moving past your eyes. You don't care where you're going, only that you're following. Guerrilla play is never just play. For infants, it's training a way to learn balance, coordination, and the subtle rules of the group. When you push too hard, you'll hear a squeak of protest. When you stray too far from the troop, an older female will grunt and guide you back. Every tumble and twist is a lesson you won't realize you're learning until much later. The ground beneath you changes. A mound of tangled roots forces you upward, your hands gripping rough bark before sliding down the other side. Your fur brushes against his as you land, and he gives a quick grunt, the kind that means, your turn. So you do what your body tells you. You leap forward, both arms wrapping around his side. The two of you tumble together, rolling over patches of leaves that crackle under your weight. A small cloud of dust rises in the air before settling back into the earth. For a moment, you're on your back, looking up at the canopy. The leaves above sway in the breeze, letting small beams of light dance across your face. You feel the warmth of his hand press briefly into your chest before he scrambles off, giving you space to rise again. Around you, life continues. An older juvenile passes by, not joining but watching with faint curiosity. He's bigger, stronger, and his role is shifting less play, more preparation for the responsibilities that come with age. A few meters away, your mother continues to feed, pausing only to glance in your direction. The silverback is further still, his massive body a silent anchor in the shifting green. You learn the unspoken rule. You are free to play, but the group is always watching, always ready, always within reach. You try to copy a move he made earlier, a quick turn and jump that sends your feet skidding over loose dirt. You stumble, catch yourself, and both of you make a sound that's not quite a laugh, but close enough. Gorillas don't laugh the way humans do, but joy still finds its way into the air. It's in the breath, the rhythm, the way your bodies move together. The game slows when you do. Breathing deep, you sit back on your heels, knuckles resting lightly on the ground. He sits too, head tilting as if to say, "Enough for now." There's no need to speak. The forest is already filling the space with its own voice leaves shifting, insects buzzing, a distant bird calling once, twice, then falling silent. In time, you'll play harder, climb higher, and push further. You'll learn when to yield, when to chase, and when to stop. But for now, this is enough. The forest holds you in its quiet rhythm again. And in the middle of that rhythm, you've just learned something without even trying, that connection can be built in silence through the simple act of moving together. Chapter 6. First Rain. It starts as a feeling in the air, not a drop, not a sound, but a shift. The forest, moments ago warm and still, cools ever so slightly. The breeze carries something new, the scent of wet stone, distant and faint, creeping in from somewhere you can't see. Gorillas don't have weather forecasts, but the forest does. The insects are the first to speak, their steady hum dipping lower, quieter, as if they've decided to take shelter before the clouds arrive. Then, far above you, a bird calls once sharp, urgent before darting out of sight. Your mother feels it too. You sense it in the way her body tenses slightly, the way she shifts her position on the ground, bringing you closer beneath her arm. She doesn't fear the rain, but she knows what it brings. Cooler air, slick ground, and the need to move carefully. The first drop lands on your shoulder. It's not cold, not yet. Just a soft tap, rolling down the short, fine hairs before settling into your skin. Another follows, then another. Each drop feels separate, measured, almost polite. But the forest doesn't do polite for long. The sound begins above you, a soft patter on the leaves high in the canopy. It's so far away it sounds like a memory of rain, not the real thing. But the sound swells quickly, layer upon layer, as the drops gather strength. They bounce from leaf to leaf, falling slower at first, then faster, until the air is filled with the steady percussion of water on every surface. When it reaches you, it's not a drizzle, it's a curtain. Large, warm drops land against your head, your back, your hands. The ground darkens instantly, the dry dust turning to mud beneath your knuckles. Each step now carries a soft, sticky pull. The scent of the world changes too, the dry, sun-warmed smell of the morning replaced by the deep, earthy perfume of wet soil and crushed vegetation. Some gorillas seek shelter under the thickest leaves during heavy rain. Others stay where they are, letting the water wash over them. Your troop moves slowly, unhurried, the silverback glancing around as if calculating whether it's worth finding cover. He doesn't rush. His calm is the troop's calm. You feel the drops soak into your fur, running in thin streams down your arms. A larger one splashes against your face, breaking into smaller rivulets that drip from your chin. Instinct makes you shake your head, sending water flying in small arcs. Nearby, an older juvenile has turned the rain into a game, swiping at the droplets as they fall through gaps in the leaves, leaping up to catch them as if they were insects. A younger one hides under a low branch, peeking out every few seconds before ducking back under the green. Play doesn't stop for weather, it just changes shape. The forest under rain feels like a different world. The usual crack of stems and rustle of leaves is muffled now, replaced by the endless hiss of water hitting every surface at once. You can hear the difference between drops hitting broad banana leaves, a low, hollow thump, and those striking the fine, feathery ferns, a crisp, sharp patter. Every now and then, a heavier sound breaks through, a small stream of water spilling from an overloaded branch, hitting the ground in a single splash, before rejoining the countless other rivulets, carving paths into the mud. Your mother leans down, brushing her hand gently over your back, flattening the wet fur against your skin. She makes a soft, steady grunt, the one that says you're fine, you're safe. You lean into her warmth, even as the rain continues to soak you both. Minutes pass, or maybe more. In the forest, time is counted by the rhythm of things, and right now, that rhythm belongs to the rain. It doesn't stop suddenly, it slows, tapering off as the clouds pass. The drops become lighter, fewer, until they're no longer falling from the sky, but only from the leaves above, delayed in their journey. A final bead of water lands on your nose. The air feels different now, cooler, cleaner, softer. The ground smells richer. Every surface glistens, each leaf a mirror catching what little sunlight breaks through the canopy. You've just met the rain for the first time, and though you don't know it yet, this will happen often. Enough that the smell of wet earth, the feel of water running through your fur, and the sound of the canopy alive with droplets will become part of the map of your life here. Chapter 7. First Nightfall. The light doesn't vanish all at once. In the forest, night comes like a tide, slow, steady, pulling the colours out of the world one shade at a time. High above, the tallest trees hold on to the last of the day. Their leaves glow for a few moments longer, lit by sunlight that never quite reaches you here on the forest floor. But even those bright patches begin to fade, melting into the deeper green of evening. You notice the change first in sound. The daytime calls, sharp bird notes, insect hums, the occasional distant crack of a branch soften. They don't stop completely, but they become fewer, leaving more and more space for silence. That silence is not empty. It's filled with the low, constant breath of the forest itself. Your mother slows her movements, settling into a rhythm that is no longer about travelling or feeding. She scans the area quick, practiced glances at the shadows between the trees. The silverback does the same, his massive frame outlined against the last light. His position matters. His presence is a wall no predator dares test. This is when gorillas begin their nightly work. Nests. Not the kind you were born in, high and hidden, but fresh ones built each evening, even on the ground. Your mother selects a spot just far enough from the troop to give a little quiet, but close enough that the sound of the others moving is never out of reach. She bends thick stems with her hands, pulling them inward and weaving them into a loose, wide circle. She doesn't rush. Each movement is deliberate, breaking branches with a muted snap, tucking the leaves into place so they form a soft bed. The smell of crushed vegetation rises around you, green, sharp, alive. You watch, learning without knowing you're learning. One day, you'll make your own. For now, she lowers herself into the nest, pulling you against her chest. The temperature has already dropped, but her body is a furnace, her fur thick against the cooling air. The forest at night has its own voice. It's lower, slower, deeper. The wind moves differently now. Instead of rushing through open leaves, it threads through the trunks, making a quiet, hollow tone like breath moving through a flute. Insects that stayed hidden during the day come alive now, their calls rhythmic and unbroken. A chorus that seems to stretch from one side of the forest to the other. Somewhere far away, there is a rustle too far to be a threat, but enough for the silverback to tilt his head and listen. His soft, rolling grunt tells the troop it's nothing to worry about. That sound, that reassurance, is as important as the nest itself. You shift against your mother's side, feeling the slow rise and fall of her breathing. Each exhale is warm against your ear. Your own breathing begins to match hers without thinking. The last traces of light disappear. What's left is black, not empty black, but a darkness so full it feels like a blanket pulled over the world. You can't see the trees anymore, but you can hear them in every creak and whisper of leaves overhead. This is your first nightfall. You don't know the dangers the darkness can hold. You don't yet understand why staying close matters. You only know the comfort of being here, in the circle of her arms, with the scent of the nest around you and the deep, patient breathing of the forest, settling into sleep, and without realizing it, you do the same. Chapter 8. First morning alone. You wake to stillness, not the deep, wrapped in darkness stillness of night, but a lighter one, the kind that comes before the forest is fully awake. The air is cool, damp against your fur, carrying the faint sweetness of crushed leaves from the nest. Above you, the sky is a pale, uncertain grey, filtered through the dense weave of the canopy. The sun hasn't broken through yet. It's there, somewhere beyond the trees, but the forest hasn't decided to let it in. You move, expecting to feel the solid warmth of your mother beside you, but her space is empty. The nest is still warm where she lay, the leaves bent and pressed into the shape of her body. She hasn't been gone long. Your eyes scan the space ahead, slow, searching. No sign of her yet, no sign of the silverback. Only the thick green shadows and the slow drip of water from leaves overhead. This is new. Every morning before now, you've woken with her close enough to touch, her presence a constant, like the ground beneath your hands. But this morning, for the first time, it's just you. Your breath quickens without you meaning it to. Gorillas don't often find themselves truly alone, and when they do, it's not without reason. The troop is your safety, your shelter. Distance can mean danger. Still, there's no sound of alarm, no sharp grunts, no sudden crashing of branches. The forest is calm. You shift forward, your knuckles pressing into the damp earth. The smell here is richer in the morning wet soil, the faint bitterness of fallen fruit, the green tang of plants heavy with dew. Every movement you make feels louder than it should, the rustle of leaves under your hands sending a ripple of sound into the quiet. A flash of movement catches your eye, not her, but a bird with bright green feathers, hopping along a low branch. It tilts its head at you before flicking away, disappearing into the layered greens. You take a few cautious steps from the nest, your senses stretching in every direction. A gorilla your age doesn't wander far, not yet, but curiosity pulls you forward. The forest in early morning is different. The light is soft and thin, seeping in between leaves in narrow beams that catch on the mist. Each step you take stirs the air just enough to make that mist shift and curl. The ground holds the night's coolness, and your knuckles come away damp when they press into the soil. Somewhere ahead, you hear a low sound. Not an alarm, not a call, just a steady, muffled chewing. You recognize it instantly. The rhythm of it, the pause, the breath your mother. Relief loosens something in your chest you didn't know you were holding. You move toward the sound, and as you do, another figure comes into view. A juvenile, older than you, sits in the fork of a tree, peeling leaves from a branch in long, practiced motions. His eyes flick toward you for a moment before returning to his meal. This, too, is part of growing. Gorillas are never truly apart, but there are moments, brief ones, when you step just far enough into the world to feel its size without a hand on your back. When you reach her, she doesn't pull you close or fuss over you. She glances once, checks you with a soft hum, then returns to feeding. That's enough. That's her way of telling you she trusts you. And in that quiet, with the forest slowly waking around you, you realize you've taken your first step toward independence. It's a small step, but in the life of a gorilla, even the smallest steps are worth remembering. Chapter 9. First climb. The forest has always felt big to you. From the ground, the trees rise like endless walls, their tops hidden in light and shadow. You've watched older gorillas disappear into them, vanishing into a world you've only glimpsed, a world of green platforms, swinging vines, and sunlight spilling in from above. Until now, that world has belonged to others. Today, curiosity reaches higher than fear. It starts with a low branch, one thick enough to hold your weight, just above the line of your eyes. You place your knuckles on it first, testing. The bark is rough, its grooves holding the scent of damp moss. When it doesn't shift, You hook your fingers over the edge and pull yourself up until your feet leave the ground. Your stomach tightens not from hunger, but from the newness of it. You've been off the ground before, clinging to your mother's back or belly, your face buried in her fur as she carried you. But this is different. This is you, holding yourself, your own body, deciding where to go. You climb slowly, hand over hand, your feet searching for spaces between knots in the wood. Gorillas don't leap like monkeys. Every movement is deliberate, quiet, measured. Your body knows to keep 3 limbs in contact at all times, a triangle of safety as you move upward. The ground begins to pull away. You notice it first in the way the air feels. It's lighter here, cooler, carrying scents from further away, ripe fruit, distant flowers, the faint musk of another troop somewhere beyond your sight. The light changes too, growing warmer as it filters through leaves now glowing from behind. Halfway up, you pause. Below, the silverback is watching. His head is tilted slightly, not in disapproval, but in awareness. He knows where you are. He knows how high you've gone. That knowledge steadies you more than you expect. You keep climbing until your hands reach a fork thick enough to sit in. You pull yourself into it, the branch swaying slightly under your weight. For a moment, you freeze still, adjusting to the idea that the ground is no longer beneath you. From here, the world changes. You can see across the troop's feeding area the arcs of broken stems and trampled plants marking where they've been. You can see the glint of a small stream you've only heard until now. And above you, more branches, more leaves, more paths to follow. A bird lands nearby, its wings snapping the air before it settles. It tilts its head at you, unbothered, then moves along the branch, its claws scratching the bark in short bursts. You follow its movement without thinking, your hands adjusting on the wood as your balance shifts. You reach for the next branch thinner, bending under your weight, and move carefully, feeling the tree respond to every motion. Your feet curl around it, gripping as if they were hands. Gorillas use both with equal trust in the canopy. The higher you go, the more the forest opens. Gaps in the leaves show slices of sky, a pale blue that seems impossibly far and impossibly close at the same time. Then, without warning, you stop. It isn't fear that freezes you, it's the view. The sunlight catches a layer of mist drifting through the trees, turning it gold. The forest floor below is almost hidden, a shifting patchwork of shadow and light. You've never seen your home like this before. This is the canopy's gift. Perspective. From here, the dangers of the ground feel distant. The air moves differently, carrying the sound of the troop in soft echoes. The occasional low grunt, the rustle of leaves, the snap of a stem. When you finally climb down, your movements are slower, more confident. You touch the ground again with a quiet thud, and the earth feels different under your hands, familiar, but smaller somehow. You don't know it yet, but you'll return to the canopy many times. Each time, it will teach you something new, and each time, it will feel a little more like home. Chapter 10, The First Rain. The change comes before the first drop. It's in the air, a heaviness you feel in your skin more than in your breath. The forest smells different, sharper, as if every leaf has been holding its breath, waiting. The light shifts too. It doesn't disappear, but it grows softer, as though a thin veil has been drawn over the sun. The shadows blur, colours deepen. Even the sounds around you change. The calls of distant birds fade, replaced by an expectant quiet. The silverback lifts his head. He knows what's coming. They all do. And then it begins. The first drop lands on the back of your hand, cold, startling, heavier than you expect. It leaves a perfect circle of darkened fur before slipping away. Another lands on your shoulder, then one on your ear. Then, everywhere at once. The rain doesn't fall in a steady stream at first. It's scattered, uneven, pattering against leaves high above before reaching the ground. You can hear it moving down through the canopy in layers. each one catching and spilling it differently. Some branches holding the water until it gathers into a sudden drip, others letting it pass through in a fine spray. The smell of the forest blooms with the rain. Earth, leaf, something faintly sweet flowers you couldn't see before, now releasing their scent. Your mother shifts her weight, leading you toward thicker cover. Gorillas don't always seek shelter in rain, but the youngest often stay close to the troop, their bodies pressed against warmth when the air cools. You tuck yourself near her side, her fur damp but still radiating heat. The sound grows louder. It's not like wind, which moves and changes, rushing in waves. Rain is constant, a steady drumming that fills every space. It's on your fur, on the ground, on every leaf and branch. It's on your face when you look up, cool drops sliding from your brow to your chin. Somewhere nearby, a young male climbs higher into the trees, his movements sending a shower of droplets down on those below. He pauses, shaking his arms, sending arcs of water flying like silver threads in the dim light. The ground begins to change under you, softer, darker, the top layer of leaves flattening as they take in the water. Small rivulets form, winding through roots and disappearing into the soil. Your fingers press into the mud, feeling it give way, slick and cool against your skin. There's no rushing the rain. It falls as long as it wants to. You notice how the troop shifts into its rhythm, some sitting still, eyes half closed, as if listening, others foraging casually in the wet leaves, unconcerned by the weather. For gorillas, rain isn't an interruption. It's simply part of the day, another layer of the forest's voice. Eventually, you lift your head and let it fall on your face, blinking against the drops. The coolness is almost comforting now, like being wrapped in a sound instead of a blanket. Minutes pass, or maybe hours. Time feels different when the world moves this slowly. When the rain finally begins to thin, the light changes again. A pale gold filters through the canopy, glinting off every wet surface. Leaves shine, branches drip. The air feels lighter, washed clean. And for the first time, you understand that the forest doesn't just live, it breathes. And sometimes, it breathes in water. Chapter 11, The Scent of Strangers. It starts with the wind, not a strong wind, just a faint movement of air, brushing across your face, carrying with it something unfamiliar. The forest is full of smells, you know, the warm, leafy scent of your mother's fur, the sharp green of crushed stems underfoot, the deep, earthy breath of soil after rain. Even the musk of the silverback, heavy, steady, reassuring, is a constant you hardly notice anymore. But this is different. It comes in waves, faint at first, then a little stronger. Not food, not any animal you've known before. It's the smell of gorilla, but not your gorillas. You freeze without thinking. It's not fear exactly, but alertness, your body paying closer attention than your mind can name. The others notice too. The silverback lifts his head, nostrils flaring, eyes narrowing slightly. A low, almost inaudible rumble comes from his chest. Not a call, not a warning, just a note. The kind of sound that tells the troop, stay aware. Your mother shifts closer to him. The juveniles stop what they're doing, their play replaced by stillness. Even the smallest ones seem to sense it, pressing themselves against their mothers. The smell is layered. Sweat, damp fur, crushed vegetation, clinging to skin, the faint trace of fruit, ripe, sweet, as if they've been feeding not far from here. You turn your head, trying to follow it. The wind isn't steady. It moves the scent in and out, making it feel like the strangers are there one moment, gone the next. Somewhere beyond the trees, a branch cracks. It's not the random break of falling wood, it's the deliberate sound of weight moving through the canopy. Your heart quickens. You don't see them. You don't have to. In the life of a gorilla, strangers are not casual encounters. Two groups meeting can mean many things: curiosity, competition, even conflict. Silverbacks defend their troop fiercely, and the scent of an unfamiliar male can turn the forest tense in an instant. The silverback takes a few slow steps forward, his chest broad, his movements deliberate but calm. He stands still for a long moment, testing the air. Then he makes a low, resonant sound, a deep, rolling hum you feel in your chest as much as you hear it. It's not for you, it's for them, a message carried by the air. We are here, we are strong, we are watching. The forest listens. For a while, there's nothing but the drip of water from the canopy and the distant call of a hornbill. The strangers don't answer, not with sound anyway, but the smell lingers, reminding you they are somewhere close. Eventually, the silverback turns back toward the troop, his posture easing. Whatever message he needed to send has been sent. The others resume their slow feeding, their play, their movements through the understory. But you keep sniffing the air, the faint trace of the strangers staying with you. It's a reminder the forest is vast, and you are not the only ones in it. Chapter 12. Afternoon Heat. The sun has climbed high enough that the light has changed. It's no longer the pale gold of morning or the shifting patterns of early day. Now, it's heavy, direct. It pours down in wide sheets through breaks in the canopy, pooling on the forest floor in bright, unmoving patches. You feel it on your back before you see it, a slow building warmth that seeps through fur and into skin. The ground beneath you holds its own heat now, stored from hours of sunlight, radiating upward in a way that makes every movement feel heavier. The forest is quieter at this time. Even the birds seem to sing less. The air is thick, not with noise, but with a weight you can almost touch. You shift in the shade, adjusting to keep out of the direct sun. Some in the troop stretch out fully, lying flat on their stomachs or backs, limbs loose, eyes half closed. Others lean against tree trunks, heads resting on folded arms. No one is in a hurry to do anything. The silverback settles nearby, his vast frame motionless, except for the slow rise and fall of his breathing. His presence feels like a wall, protective, solid, and that stillness he carries begins to pull you deeper into your own rest. A fly buzzes past your ear. You brush it away without opening your eyes. The smell of warmed leaves fills the air, blending with the faint sweetness of crushed fruit left from earlier feeding. Somewhere nearby, a young one pulls at a small branch lazily, stripping leaves one at a time, chewing without urgency. Your breathing slows. In, out, not forced, not controlled, just the natural rhythm of being still in a world that has decided to pause with you. Even the light feels slow now, shifting only when a breeze stirs the canopy enough to let it move. Those moments create ripples of brightness on the ground, like water catching sunlight. You watch them for a while, without thought, your mind drifting. This is how gorillas live the hottest hours, not by fighting the heat, but by letting it shape the day. No urgency, no wasted energy, just waiting, resting, breathing. A cicada begins its call in the distance, a long, steady hum that blends into the background until it's less a sound and more a texture in the air. You find yourself listening without listening, letting it fade into the rhythm of your breath. For a long time, nothing changes, and that, somehow, is the point. The afternoon heat is not a thing to escape, it's a thing to move with, and in its slow embrace, you find yourself not just resting, but dissolving into the forest's stillness. Chapter 13. Grooming Time. It begins without words. No signal, no announcement, just a shift in weight, a quiet approach, the touch of a hand on fur. You're sitting in the shade, legs folded beneath you, when your mother settles beside you. She doesn't rush, her movements are unhurried, as if the air itself has slowed her down. Her fingers find your shoulder, parting the thick hair to search the skin beneath. The world outside the troop fades. This is a world of touch, of small motions and quiet focus. Her fingers move with patience, scanning for bits of dirt, small insects, tiny tangles of hair. Each find is lifted away or smoothed down, and she works without looking at your face, her attention fully on the details beneath her hands. Around you, others are doing the same. Two juveniles lean against each other, trading turns in a clumsy, distracted rhythm. An older female sits with her eyes half closed, as a younger one works through the fur along her back. Even the silverback, massive and still, allows a small one to pick carefully at the thick hair on his forearm. The sound of grooming is not loud, but it's there if you listen. The faint rustle of fur shifting, the soft click of nails against skin, the quiet exhale when a tangle is worked free. For gorillas, this is more than cleaning. It's a kind of language, one spoken in touch rather than sound. Each slow stroke says, "I know you, I trust you, we are part of the same life." The heat of the day makes it easy to stay still. Your breathing is deep, slow. The weight of your body sinks into the ground. Her hands keep moving small, deliberate, circling motions until you're no longer thinking about anything else. Sometimes her fingers pause, resting for a moment on your back before starting again. It's a gesture you don't think about until you realize it's as much for her as for you. A reassurance that you're here, close, safe. After a while, you shift slightly, and the roles reverse. Your hands begin to work through her fur. It's denser in places, lighter in others, but the motion is the same, steady, patient, unhurried. You pick out a small seed caught in the hair along her shoulder and drop it to the ground. She makes a soft sound in her throat, almost like a hum, low and content. The troop remains in this rhythm for a long time, each pair or small group locked in their own quiet exchange. The forest around you carries on birds calling, leaves moving in the breeze, but here, within the circle of grooming, the world feels reduced to skin, fur and trust. By the time you stop, you feel lighter. Not because the dirt is gone, but because the weight of the day seems softer somehow, as if the slow, careful touch has smoothed something inside you too. You glance around. The silverback has shifted onto his side, the little one still picking at his arm. Others have drifted into rest, leaning against each other, eyes closed. The grooming is over, but the quiet it leaves behind stays with you as real as the warmth of the sun and the shade that hides you from it. Chapter 14. The sound of rain. The rain arrives softly, not with sudden storms or harsh crashes, but like a whispered promise from the sky. You hear it first, the delicate tapping of drops landing on leaves high above, a gentle percussion that ripples through the forest like a lullaby. The sound is layered, complex. Drops fall on broad banana leaves, creating hollow, rounded thumps. Others strike the fine, feathery ferns with a crisp, steady patter. Occasionally, a heavier drop slips through a gap in the canopy and splashes onto the forest floor, sending tiny clouds of dust and damp earth into the air. You close your eyes and let the rhythm settle around you, like a soft blanket woven from sound. The air smells different now, cooler, fresher, carrying the rich scent of wet earth and crushed vegetation, mingled with the faint sweetness of flowers kissed by the rain. Your fur feels the droplets too cool, light beads that run slowly down your back and arms. You shake your head once, sending a small spray flying through the air. Nearby, a juvenile lifts his face to the sky, mouth open, catching drops on his tongue. A soft grunt escapes him, one of pleasure or surprise. The silverback watches, calm and steady, his massive form a quiet presence amidst the shower. The forest is alive with the sound of rain, but it is not chaotic. It is a steady, gentle pulse that moves through every leaf, every branch, every inch of bark. You listen without thinking, allowing the sound to fill the spaces between your breath, between your heartbeat. It is impossible to resist the way it slows you down, pulls you deeper into stillness. Minutes stretch, dissolving into each other. The rain becomes less a thing happening outside and more a part of you, a rhythm syncing with your own. The silverback shifts, breaking a branch from a nearby tree and settling more deeply into the softened ground. The troop follows, each member adjusting their position, finding comfort in the rain's embrace. You curl closer to your mother, sharing warmth beneath the cool drops. Her steady breathing anchors you, a counterpoint to the rain's endless song. In this moment, the forest is a place of quiet renewal. The rain will fall and fall again. It will wash the leaves, fill the streams, and nourish the earth. And you will rest within its song, carried gently toward the slow, deep calm that comes before sleep. Chapter 15. Evening Shadows. The sun slips quietly beneath the horizon. It doesn't announce its departure with fanfare, but with a slow, deliberate fading, like a candle gently dimming before the flame is fully gone. Shadows stretch longer now, weaving between the trunks and roots like living threads. The deep greens of the forest begin to soften, blending into muted blues and greys. You notice the change first in the light on your fur, no longer warm and bright, but cool and soft, like a whisper. The air shifts too. It cools, carrying the scent of damp earth and drying leaves, mingled with the faint, smoky tang of distant fires you've never seen but know exist beyond the trees. The chorus of daytime sounds gradually quiets. Bird calls become rare, replaced by the occasional low hoot of an owl or the rustle of small animals preparing for their own nights. Insects begin their evening song, a delicate buzzing and chirping that threads through the stillness. Your mother moves slowly, her steps careful as she guides the troop to a familiar resting spot. The ground beneath your feet is softer here, covered in a thick layer of fallen leaves and moss, perfect for building the nest that will be your shelter through the night. The silverback lingers at the edge of the group, his broad chest rising and falling in deep, steady breaths. His eyes scan the darkening forest, alert yet calm, a sentinel watching over the circle of life he protects. Nest building begins with quiet efficiency. Branches are bent and woven, leaves tucked in and smoothed down, each movement practiced and sure. Your mother's hands work with gentle care, inviting you to rest close to her side once the bed is ready. You settle in, the soft rustle of leaves beneath you, a soothing sound, almost like a heartbeat in sync with your own. The shadows deepen, folding around the troop like a protective cloak. You close your eyes and feel the forest breathe around you, the slow, timeless rhythm of life that has continued long before you arrived and will go on long after. This is the pause before the dream, and as the night wraps its quiet arms around the world, you drift deeper, carried on the whispers of the trees and the steady, loving presence of your troop. Chapter 16. Dreams and Quiet. Darkness is not empty. As your eyes close, the forest's sounds soften into a gentle hum, a lullaby woven from distant rustles, soft breaths, and the occasional quiet sigh of a sleeping creature. Your body sinks deeper into the nest, weightless yet grounded, held by the earth and the arms of those who share this moment with you. The rhythm of your breathing slows, matching the slow rise and fall of the troop around you. You feel the warmth of your mother's fur, the steady thump of her heart beneath your cheek. In this space between waking and sleep, your mind begins to drift, slipping into places that feel like the forest, yet are shaped by something unseen. Colours shift and blur, greens melt into shadows, sounds stretch and fold, carrying memories you don't yet fully understand. You find yourself moving without moving, running through trees, climbing branches that sway like waves, chasing light that dances just beyond reach. The chest beats of the silverback echo softly, steady and strong, a pulse you feel deep inside yourself. In this dream world, the forest feels endless, both vast and intimately close. You glimpse the faces of your troop mothers grooming, juveniles playing, the silverback standing watch, all wrapped in the same quiet calm. Though the details are hazy, the feeling is clear. Safety, connection, belonging. Your breathing deepens further, body melting into the softness beneath you. The night carries on slow, patient, timeless, and you are part of it, drifting gently into sleep, cradled by the forest's embrace and the enduring presence of your family. Chapter 17. First light again. The forest stirs before the sun arrives. You don't wake to brightness, but to a soft shift, a whisper of light that filters slowly through the leaves, reaching into the nest like a gentle hand. The air feels cooler now, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and new beginnings. Around you, the troop is still wrapped in quiet dreams. Breaths rise and fall in unison, a peaceful rhythm that grounds the space between night and day. Your eyes flutter open, adjusting to the dim green glow. Shapes take form: the curve of a branch, the ripple of your mother's fur as she shifts beside you, the outline of the silverback, massive even in rest. Birdsong begins softly, a delicate thread weaving through the forest's breath. You stretch slowly, limbs unfolding from their curled rest. Your fingers brush against the cool leaves, your feet pressing into the softened earth. The world feels new, both familiar and full of possibility. Your mother rises, her movements deliberate and calm. She looks to the sky beyond the canopy, sensing the day's arrival with the certainty only the forest can teach. The silverback follows, chest rising in steady breaths, muscles coiled and ready for the day's journey. The troop begins to stir, low grunts and soft sounds rising like a gentle chorus. You take a deep breath, filling your lungs with the fresh morning air, the scent of moss, wet wood, and the faint sweetness of fruit waiting to be found. The day stretches ahead, slow and full of promise. And as you step forward into the soft light, you carry with you the stillness of night, the warmth of your troop, and the endless rhythm of the forest life that flows through you. Chapter 18. Morning forage. The forest awakens slowly, and so do you. Leaves rustle softly as the troop begins to move, each step deliberate and unhurried. Your feet press into the soft earth, feeling the coolness of the morning dew beneath you. The air is fresh, carrying the scent of wet soil, green leaves, and the faint sweetness of ripening fruit just out of reach. Your mother moves ahead, hands reaching out to pull tender shoots and leaves from low branches. She chews slowly, her jaw moving in a steady rhythm that you've come to recognize as the song of survival. Gorillas are herbivores, their diet a rich mosaic of leaves, stems, fruit, and occasionally flowers. Each bite is a lesson, each plant a story waiting to be told. You reach out to mimic her, your fingers brushing against the rough bark of a young tree before closing around a cluster of soft leaves. The texture is new, the taste faintly bitter, but familiar already. Nearby, juveniles tussle quietly, wrestling and tumbling among the undergrowth, their playful energy a sharp contrast to the calm focus of feeding. The silverback moves slowly, eyes scanning the area, chest rising and falling with steady strength. His presence reassures you, anchoring the group as they forage through the dense green. You notice how the sunlight filters through the canopy now, casting mottled patterns on the forest floor. Shadows dance with every movement of the leaves, creating a shifting tapestry beneath your feet. Every step is careful. The forest is both a pantry and a puzzle. Not every plant is safe, and not every path leads to food. Learning to recognize what to eat is a skill passed down through observation and trial. Your mother pauses, plucking a piece of fruit from a higher branch and offering it to you. You take it tentatively, the sweetness a surprise on your tongue. It's one of the rare treats that make the hard work of foraging worthwhile. Around you, the troop's murmurs blend with the sounds of the forest birds calling, insects buzzing, leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. This morning forage is more than feeding. It's a quiet ritual of connection to the earth, to each other, and to the life that sustains you. You chew slowly, savouring the moment, letting the forest's rhythm guide your movements and your breath. The day has truly begun. Chapter 19. The Silverback's Watch. The forest moves around him, but he moves within it, steady, deliberate, unshaken. You feel the presence before you see it. The silverback is the heart of the troop, a mountain of strength wrapped in calm. His breath is slow and deep, his chest rising with the weight of countless years spent knowing this forest better than anyone else. His eyes scan the canopy and the undergrowth with quiet vigilance, missing nothing. Every rustle, every shift in the wind is noted, catalogued, and weighed. Though his size alone commands respect, it is his silence that carries true power. He does not need to roar or strike. His presence is enough to keep the forest's dangers at bay. You watch as he moves slow steps that shake the ground, hands brushing against leaves and bark, muscles rippling beneath thick fur. The troop follows his lead, trusting without question. When danger approaches, it is the silverback who steps forward first, his chest beating a deep, resonant warning that echoes through the trees. But most days, his watch is quiet, a steady, unspoken promise that the group is safe. You feel safer simply knowing he is near. Your mother glances his way occasionally, reassured by the steady rhythm of his movements. Younger gorillas look to him for guidance, mimicking his posture and gestures. Sometimes he pauses and turns to glance back at the troop, his eyes softening briefly as they meet yours. In that moment, you understand something unspoken. You are part of this family, under his protection. The forest continues its slow breath around you, but here, within the silverback's watch, there is peace. You lean into that peace, your own breath sinking with the steady rise and fall of the great protector's chest. And you know that whatever the forest holds, you will face it together. Chapter 20. Afternoon rest. The sun hangs high, casting its weight over the forest like a warm, heavy blanket. Movement slows to a near halt. The troop settles into quiet pockets of shade, each gorilla finding their own soft spot to rest. You feel the ground beneath you cool, soft, and welcoming. Your limbs relax, sinking into the earth as if the forest itself is holding you. Around you, the sounds are gentle and few. The hum of insects fades into a distant whisper. Leaves rustle only with the softest breeze. Your mother lies nearby, her breathing slow and steady, eyes half closed in restful calm. Occasionally, her hand brushes lightly across your back, a soothing touch that anchors you in this shared stillness. The silverback reclines on his side, broad chest rising and falling like a slow drumbeat. His presence is a steady heartbeat in the forest's quiet symphony. Time seems to stretch and blur. Your thoughts drift as your body unwinds. You notice the faint scent of damp earth and crushed leaves mixing with the warmth of the sunlit patches filtering through the canopy. A gentle breeze carries the distant call of a bird, soft and melodic, weaving through the trees like a lullaby. In this stillness, you feel connected not just to the troop, but to the forest itself. The slow rhythm of breathing, the gentle heartbeat of life around you, and the soothing warmth all combine into a quiet embrace. Even your own breath slows, deepening into a calm, effortless flow. Here, in the heart of the afternoon, rest is not just a pause, it's a renewal, and you sink into it fully, carried by the forest's gentle arms, ready for whatever comes next. Chapter 21. Evening movement. As the sun dips lower, the heat of the day begins to soften. The forest breathes differently, now slower, cooler, filled with the gentle rustle of shifting leaves and the occasional snap of a twig under careful steps. You rise slowly, muscles stretching after hours of rest. Your feet find familiar paths, soft with fallen leaves and moss. Around you, the troop stirs as well, each member waking from the shared stillness of afternoon rest. Your mother moves beside you, her steps sure and calm, guiding you through the dimming light. The silverback follows behind, a silent guardian in the deepening shadows. The air carries new scents, earth cooling, flowers closing, and the faint musk of the forest preparing for night. You walk through the undergrowth, careful and deliberate, feeling the textures beneath your hands and feet. rough bark, soft moss, the crunch of dried leaves. The canopy above lets in less light now, casting long shadows that weave between the trees like gentle fingers. Birds call softly, their songs slower and more measured as they settle in for the night. You listen without thinking, letting the forest's evening chorus fill your senses. The troop moves together, a slow, living weave of bodies and breath, connected by the shared rhythm of twilight. Every step you take feels weighted with calm, your breathing steady, your mind quieting with each moment. This movement is not hurried or restless. It is deliberate, a gentle unfolding after the stillness. As you navigate the familiar trails, you feel the deep comfort of belonging, the quiet assurance that comes from moving through a world you know intimately. The light fades further, painting the forest in shades of blue and grey, and with each step, you move closer to the peace of night. Chapter 22. Preparing the nest. The day's last light slips away, leaving the forest wrapped in a soft, quiet dimness. Movement slows again, deliberate and unhurried. The troop pauses in a familiar clearing, the ground softened by years of leaves and earth. Your mother begins the work you've seen so many times before, bending thick stems and pulling down fresh leaves with careful hands. She doesn't rush. Each movement is a slow, practiced gesture, folding the forest's offerings into a bed of softness. You watch closely, the textures vivid beneath your gaze. The rough bark of broken branches, the smooth, cool surface of fresh leaves, the crinkle of dry foliage tucked underneath. Your hands move instinctively, gathering smaller twigs and placing them gently on the growing nest. It is a creation of comfort, a small sanctuary woven from the forest itself. The scent of crushed leaves rises around you, green, earthy, familiar. Your mother hums softly, a low sound that feels like a promise. Around you, others are working, two juveniles pulling leaves, the silverback selecting a sturdy spot for his own rest, older females smoothing the ground for their young. The air is thick with quiet purpose. The nest grows wider, softer, a circle of life and safety built one branch at a time. You settle into your place beside your mother, feeling the gentle weight of the forest close around you. The ground beneath you is cool, the leaves cushioning your body as you lie back, eyes tracing the darkening canopy above. The forest breathes deeply, its rhythm slow and steady. And here, in this nest, made from the earth and the care of your troop, you find the peace that carries you into sleep. Chapter 23. Nightfall's Embrace. Darkness settles over the forest like a soft, protective blanket. The world narrows to the quiet space within your nest, a circle of warmth and safety woven by the hands of those who share it with you. Your breathing slows, matching the gentle rhythm of the night around you. Outside, the canopy sways in a slow, steady dance, leaves whispering in the cool breeze. The chorus of daytime sounds has faded into a muted symphony, distant calls of nocturnal creatures, the rustle of small animals moving softly through the undergrowth. The silverback lies close, his steady breath a comforting presence. You feel the weight of the earth beneath you, solid and steady, holding you safe. Your eyes close, and the last traces of light slip away completely, replaced by a darkness so full it feels like a deep ocean wrapping around you. In this embrace, there is no fear, only peace. The forest watches over you, a silent guardian in the night. And as you drift deeper into rest, carried by the steady pulse of life around you, you are held safe, calm, and whole. Chapter 24. Dreams Beneath the Canopy. Sleep carries you gently into a world both familiar and strange. The forest around you fades, replaced by shifting colours and shapes that drift like leaves on a slow-moving stream. You move without moving, weightless and free, through a space where time bends and stretches. Faint echoes of the day linger, the warmth of sunlight on your fur, the soft touch of your mother's hand, the distant rhythm of the silverback's chest beat. But these memories are woven with new sensations, glowing leaves that shimmer in impossible colours, trails of light winding through branches, and the hum of the forest sung in a language without words. You sense the presence of others your troop, close yet intangible, their forms shifting like shadows beneath the canopy. There is no urgency here, only a peaceful unfolding. The canopy above is both ceiling and sky, a shelter that holds your dreams gently, like a cradle rocking in the breeze. Your breathing is slow, deep, in harmony with the quiet pulse of the night. In this place, between waking and sleeping, you find a stillness that soothes every part of you. The forest dreams with you, its ancient heart beating softly beneath the stars, and you are part of that endless rhythm, drifting, resting, becoming whole. Chapter 25. Dawn's gentle return. The world begins to stir once more. Soft light filters through the canopy, painting the forest in hues of gold and green. The night's shadows retreat slowly, making way for the promise of a new day. You awaken in your nest, wrapped in the warmth of the earth and the quiet breath of your troop. Your eyes open gently, adjusting to the gentle glow around you. The scent of fresh leaves and damp soil fills the air, a reminder of the forest's endless cycle of life and renewal. Around you, the troop begins to stretch and yawn, the soft sounds of waking filling the quiet space. Your mother rises, her movements calm and steady, inviting you to rise with her. The silverback stands tall, a silent guardian greeting the dawn with strength and grace. You feel the steady pulse of the forest beneath your feet, the rhythm of life flowing through you once again. The day stretches ahead slow, full of possibility, and wrapped in the gentle embrace of the forest you call home. And as you take your first steps into the morning light, you carry with you the peace of the night and the strength of your family. This is your life as a gorilla. Thank you for joining this journey through the life of a gorilla. If you found this experience informative and relaxing, consider liking the video. Leave a comment letting us know where you're listening from and what animal you'd like to explore next. Subscribe to stay updated on upcoming immersive animal POV stories. We look forward to bringing you another detailed life experience soon. Good night.